Hello there, I'm Lorne Risley. I'm bringing sexy back whether you like it or not, and this is Defunct Games news, an actual thing and unstoppable gaming Goliath juggernaut of the happenings of the week. Coming up this week, I'm ready for the bongs this week. There's nothing they can do to Coming up this week, Fortnite springs a leak as Season 3 is finally announced. EA's Play Live event, we have all the announcements from a special sportscast. And other highlights to come include Capcom hitting a massive milestone and in no way bragging about it. And of course, the challenge of the week, because what's life without a little bit of abject cruelty? We'll come back to the challenge in a little bit, but first, we need to get to the stories of the week. And coming up first, earlier this month, the title image for Chapter 2 of Season 3 of Fortnite had emerged on Twitter. The image, which appeared in the front end of the UK PlayStation Store ahead of the season's original launch date of June the 11th, was not confirmed as official. However, known Fortnite leaker, because apparently Fortnite leaking is a thing now, and by the way, we had money for Pyro but not a decent teleprompter this week. Lucas7 Yoshi posted the image on Twitter, which displayed the Fortnite bus soaring past a minuscule island surrounded by water, which some linked to previous posters revealed earlier in the year, which alluded to an aquatic theme being utilised in the upcoming season. Floating buildings, vicious sharks, and now, seemingly an island made famous by a certain angular, trousered, sea-based cartoon character. And I gotta tell you, SpongeBob DLC is kind of fun, but I'll tell you all right now, I will not hesitate to put a fool down. That includes Plankton, Squidward, and even that rat bastard Patrick. He knows what he did. But more recently, players of the game noticed these weird hatches around the agency base and puddles of water springing up all across the map, which all again seem to lean into the theory. But then, it was delayed again! Annoying to some fans, of course, but now we know, having seen the teasers on Tuesday and the release on Wednesday, we are going under the sea due to the device event, which sank the whole frickin' map. And while it was one of the most widely watched events in the game's history, apparently not even Epic Games anticipated how big the event would be, given that millions of fans were not even able to watch the event unfold and were kicked into the lobby. But the big news from the event includes Jason Momoa's Aquaman being a playable character with his own set of challenges to unlock the skin, not to mention much of the map being submerged in water. Archipelagos dotting the map, and now the wall is the mass of water, ever contracting and changing the way that you interfere with the map, giving players new ways to interact with the world and new strategies to employ when the ominous wall starts closing in, with even murmurings of a first-person mode due to a glitch a player experienced, NPC marauders now traversing the map, and now all the questions surrounding how this immense change is going to affect how people experience Fortnite. But worth 3 separate delay dates? You'd have to ask the fans and only time will tell. And for those unfamiliar with the game, Fortnite is a Royale type game released by Epic Games in 2017 and accounts for roughly 102% of all YouTube's content with a 2% margin of error. Shut up! Your youth and hip vernacular disgusts me. It's several modes, but arguably its most popular is Fortnite Battle Royale, a free-to-play battle royale game where players fight to be the last person or indeed team standing. But it also enjoys a loose narrative which has evolved into different seasons within the chapters and has allowed them to use different map designs, different themes, and even crossovers with famous franchises such as Batman, John Wick, and various characters from the Star Wars universe, and last season, Deadpool, which ties into Aquaman, which is kind of refreshing in that Fortnite doesn't take comic book sides. It remains to be seen if the map is going to be a success or if it's going to flounder. But you're going to have to watch this space, so grab your slurp juice and your life jackets and let's stay tuned to see if Fortnite can pull it out of the bag for a 3rd successive season. But before we go on, I have to just mention a quick word from our non-sponsor, the Lee Carvalho Putting Challenge. Because it's the only official thing that's more disappointing than Defunct Games news. read a second one. This one's just as me. Lee Carvalho's putting challenge. Because life can't get more disappointing than golf unless you watch Defunct Games news. That's, I mean, we're an official thing now. That seems like a really mean thing. Anyway, sorry. The second story of the week. So, EA had a Play Live event. That's an odd choice of the framing of the words. And it deserves some coverage because some really huge news came out of the event. But I'm British. And therefore I lacked fundamental elements of enthusiasm, happiness, and joy. I can barely remember how to spell those words. And because this event deserves to be covered with all the enthusiasm of a Ed Sheeran song that cures cancer, let's throw now to our sports games caster. That's a thing, okay? Slick Dick Johnson. Dick! Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to EA Play Live 2020. We've got it all to come today. Tons of games, massive excitement, hopefully some announcements. Fingers crossed. Well, we kick off here with Andrew. Games can be funny, but only if microtransactions are a fundamental part of the game's design. Wilson, CEO of EA, monologuing to himself. Let's get into some games. Yes, let's talk about the games. I can't wait to talk about the games. This is going to be some amazing games, surely. And no, it's a guy. Okay, it's Greg Miller. Hyping up a non-existent event and a golden golden code. Oh my word, it's Apex Legends. Oh, it's coming to Steam and Switch. Can you believe it? Absolutely fantastic. Apex Legends, one of their standout franchises. No, not standout franchises. Reasonably popular though? Reasonably popular. Ah, absolutely fantastic. Oh, The Sims! The Sims, solving society's stigmas, one soundbite at a time, and apparently it arrives on Steam. Absolutely fantastic, along with Dead Space 3 and Titanfall 2 coming to Steam shortly. Absolutely wonderful. All the customization, all of the... Oh, look! Command and Conquer! We already knew about this as well. Not really sure why we're including it in the reveal trailer for EA's games, but still, Command and Conquer, absolutely fantastic move from the left-hand side of the pitch. Swooping in now, we've got the announcements coming in for EA Originals from the Indie Game Studios. Absolutely wonderful here. Look at the cartoon, look at the movement, look at the music, look at the color. Absolutely wonderful from them here. Really difficult keeping this exciting. Over here we go! We've got more nondescript games. No titles or anything here. No, nothing. No information. Just a guy who's really fond of the F word, apparently. He was born in Beirut. That makes him crazy, according to his interview. Oh, we've got another world premiere. So, oh my word. So we've just had It Takes Two, lots of swearing promises, but now we've come in with Lost in Random, a gothic fantasy game, rolling the dice. Great, EA. Using gambling mechanics to subliminally make sure that people get that rolling the dice is absolutely fine and in no way prohibitive of kids. Oh my god! Rocket Arena! Absolutely fantastic. Another Royale battle online game. Because of course that's what the market needs right now, is more of that in the genre. Absolutely wonderful. It looks colourful. It looks rocket-tastic. Absolutely fantastic movement. Swerving from left to right, jumping up and down, explosions Royale. Oh my word! Oh my word! It's Star Wars Squadrons. Next level excitement here, guys. We're sitting in the cockpit. We're roaring around space. We're shooting pa-chew everywhere we look. Look at the detail. Probably won't be in the game, but look at the detail nonetheless. Absolutely wonderful. Apparently this game is going to be available in nearly all VR. All of the instruments are going to display things. The movement's going to be different. The gameplay is going to be more refined. Who is not excited about this game? Certainly I am. I cannot wait. And here we go. The foregone conclusion segment of the EA presentation. Of course, we have to have the FIFA and the Madden hype. Another year with barely any improvement, but all the microtransactions that you couldn't bear to be without, EA. But here we go. Now we get into the nitty-gritty. We're only a short segment away from the end. We've got to have some new stuff here while we appear to be having some graphics. Okay, quiet hush falls over the crowd as we see some of the next-gen graphics. Look at that. Absolutely stunning refinement there. Absolutely wonderful. Some of the technology that's going to be exhibited in bringing these new games to life. The speed, the power is absolutely unbelievable. You can't believe it, Jeff. BioWare referenced in there as well. Oh, can you believe it? Can it be? It's Skate! Skate has finally been announced! Unbelievable! Right at the death, Skate is announced. No details though, no gameplay footage, no price, no features, no nothing. But they've announced it! And of course that's enough to get everyone excited in the industry. Absolutely wonderful. Well, that'll bring us to a close here at EA Play Live 2020. What an amazing day it's been. The score is games that we actually have interest in being announced 5, needless EA aggrandizing 6. Absolutely fantastic. Back to you, Lorne. God, that guy has too much energy. Way too much. What happened?
It seems we've lost power to the feed. Something about not having enough energy.
Oh, ha, ha, ha. Very freaking funny. Million copies. Capcom announced this week that it has just reached a major milestone for itself, and indeed the survival horror genre. The developer has sold over 100 million copies of Resident Evil games since the franchise was launched in 1996, with the company adding that 2 notable installments of the game have sold really super duper well, and those were Resident Evil 7, which by itself sold over 7.5 million units, and Resident Evil 3 Remake, which sold 2 million copies in its first 5 days. Capcom went into no way bragging about its success by pointing out its consistent schedule for new games, which includes a remake, so of course that counts, and that by doing so it's kept the series in the public eye throughout the years, almost like a sentient corpse that is not dead yet not alive, and it continues to wander, occasionally nabbing itself a French teen demographic with its streamer-friendly content, and the hardcore fans continuing to bar the door for more original installments of the series that won't involve making 18 more movies or a Raccoon City sequel as a result. Not to mention that at the PS5 reveal event, you got Resident Evil Village. So if you thought that you could just head to the pub and wait for this whole thing to just blow over, think again. It's throwback time to earlier in the same episode. You can now play Lee Carvalho's putting challenge from The Simpsons. Turns out we've reached a point in content creation where we actually want to live out something that was designed to be disappointing as a punchline just to give ourselves something to do. Fucking lockdown, innit? This week, former Simpsons writer and exclusive producer Bill Oakley shared via Twitter a free browser game built by Aaron Demeter that recreates the disappointing golf game from the episode Marge Be Not Proud. This is the game that Bart gets at the end of the episode instead of Bone Storm. Demeter used some of the audio files from the episode to recreate the game, with the Simpsons episode that centered around shoplifting as a means of obtaining a popular game because sharing it with your friends was nearly impossible at the time. It's lovely to see that we've moved on so much since then. Isn't it, DRM? Made with Unity, because of course it was, the game only lasts about 3.5 to 4 minutes. I know, I played it, but feel free to go online and check it out for yourself. It is remarkably disappointing. US doctors can now prescribe a game as a form of medicine, apparently. For the first time ever, a video game can be prescribed as a medicine in the United States of the United Americas, with the FDA approving Endeavor for use in treating symptoms of ADHD. Endeavor by Achille Interactive is the first game in history that can be legally marketed in America as a medicine, after studies showed that the iOS product can be beneficial for patients impaired with ADHD. Doctors will be allowed to prescribe the game to children between the ages of 8 12 years old. Unfortunately, it can't be used as a wholehearted replacement for the established ADHD treatments. It beats the hell out of the chemically based remedy, wouldn't you say? We'd review that game too, but we don't want to be responsible for inadvertently putting a whole generation of kids off of a potential treatment for their affliction, so colour us cautious, we ain't touching that one. And a couple of fun stories just to finish us off. Rockstar have patched a glitch in the game that allowed players to spam KKK NPC members into the online space. I get so tired. Good week for this glitch to be exploited, wouldn't you agree? But unsurprisingly, Rockstar were sluggish, albeit very quiet to act on this one, and after a few days of persistent complaints, patched the fault, meaning that it couldn't be exploited going forward. Of course, it doesn't mean that the door isn't left open for other modders who found out and exploited this particular glitch to find other things to generate. But what could be worse than KKK members? Give it time, I'm sure those same f***wits will come up with something remarkably offensive. But legitimately ending on a happy note now, Space Invaders turns 42. Yes, the legendary arcade game Space Invaders turns 42, as it was released in arcades on the 16th of June, 1978. Hooray for another year! Another notch closer to the sweet release of my expiry date in my goddamn contract. Well, that's been the happenings of the week. My name's been Lorne Wisely, this has been Defunct Games News, thank you very much for watching. Telling you to remember that if it hasn't been your day, week or month or even your year, that you could just take a look at my contract and you will feel immediately better about your own lives. Please remember to check out the Discord, go and check out some of the other content that Cyril has been producing. Remarkably easy and with no time constraints or anything along those lines because he's special and brilliant at what he does and I'm not apparently. And again, just one final thing, please do remember to go and check out the Discord. There's going to be updates and all sorts of things over there. It's an official thing now, I promise. But in the meantime, thank you again for watching and I'll see you on next week. Next week? Day off next week? No. Next week it is. Bye.
Hey, thanks for watching this week's episode of Defunct Games News. If you liked what you saw here, then you should know that Lauren will be back next Sunday for a brand new episode. Now here's the question I have for you. What is your favorite Resident Evil game? With the franchise hitting a milestone this week, I'm excited to see which horror game you prefer. Let me see your picks in the comments below. In other news, we'll be back tomorrow with a review of Darius Cosmic Collection Arcade, followed by the even more expensive console version on Tuesday. See, I was originally going to review both of these games together, but man, it's clear that they require individual attention. You'll see what I mean. In the meantime, I strongly recommend you click that subscribe button and support what we're doing here. Until then.